What is going on? We are finally back on track with our discussion videos. That means this will be out on Wednesday. Uh, we are
That's
talking
2 weeks
about,
in a row.
yeah,
Finally.
finally. We are talking about microtransactions, what I think is the bane of the gaming existence,
Yeah, it's
and
everybody's favorite new trend in
yeah,
games, I guess, right?
and along with day one DLC. I'm pretty fucking sick of going online, putting my game in, being all energetic about getting the game, and then being prompted to spend another $10 or so to get content that was supposed to be in the game to begin with.
Yeah, that was a problem. I don't know if that's as much of a problem now, though, as it
Now
used
that
to be.
they've moved on to they're trying to find
Yeah,
new
yeah, I
ways to
think it's like the
monetize
new
that
trend,
won't
pretty
piss
much.
people off. And some games do it all right. Like I didn't have a problem with Mass Effect 3 doing that with the multiplayer. They're
Yeah, I
they're
mean, anything, any game where you don't, like, if you're not even thinking about doing it, it's just there if you want to do it, that's fine with me. But if you, like, literally have to do it to advance anywhere in the game, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, or where you have to just completely grind and grind and grind and grind to the point
Oh, yeah.
it's like I know the free version of Star Trek Online, not Star Trek Online, Star Wars: The Old Republic. There's a lot of grinding involved with Star Wars: The Old Republic when you're a free to play player. And granted, that's to be expected, but there's also many microtransactions there to boost it, so you don't have to deal with it. So when you have to grind to get anything that you need, like things that people would normally be able to get, or people can just pay and get right away. So it's almost like a pay to win situation. Microtransactions suck, and I can understand it
Yeah.
for a free to play game, or like, well, let's get back on the history of how this all became. We used to have games that were completely 100% done. You pop in the disc or the cassette or whatever, and or the cartridge,
Cartridge.
and
Yeah.
yeah, cassette. Wow, you pop in the cartridge, and that's it. Then Blizzard was pretty good with this. They would, release expansion packs, and some people were complaining about that because they didn't want to spend another $20. Why do they want more? Why do they want $20 more? They're greedy, and that's sort of the attitude that we had back then. But it was better. And then we went on to DLC. The moment the internet age got to the point with like the 360 and things like that, where you could do DLC, and that's all fine and dandy. I'm fine with DLC. But the moment I got a problem is when you make a game and I have to pop in my credit card number just to get the complete game. You release the game and you put the DLC on the CD, yet I can't access it unless I spend $10 more. And $60 is a hell of a lot of money nowadays.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's
And
like
now things
if
are
you're
costing
working,
like the season
yeah,
passes for some games cost almost $60, which is ridiculous.
yeah. Uh, and I think Call of Duty is probably gonna make 4 DLC packs or so.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're giving you more content than other games usually do, but still, I don't want to have to pay $50
yeah,
for 4 map packs. Same thing with
and
Battlefield 4.
the thing about that is you have another thing just to tie into this is you have pre-order bonuses, things that you can't get unless you pre-order it.
Yeah, and sometimes they just end up being DLC anyway.
Yeah, that's true. So you end up wasting your money. And another problem I have with not day one DLC. Another problem I have with pre-orders is when you do it, you're you're spending money, giving a developer money, which is good, but that does what incentive do they have when you buy early? What incentive do they have to make a quality game? They already got their money.
Well, I guess they don't want you to trade it in within like a week of beating it. Which then again, I think that's where the DLC comes from because they want to make sure that they have enough content out for a few months to make you keep that game.
Yeah, but what I can understand is I guess that ties back with GameStop, how they don't the developers don't make any profits on used games,
Yeah, so I guess they just want you to buy it new and keep it and not trade it back in so other people buy it.
but they can easily go around that without having to do day one DLC. My biggest problem, like I said, is day one DLC. I hate having to put in my credit card number just to get a complete game, and I don't do it. And Phil Spencer from Microsoft, when he was responding to the problems with Forza 5 and Rise, basically said, I'll just read off the quote. I want to be able to learn from what we put in. So let's make sure we are crafting the game and the analytics so we can see what the consumers, the gamers, like and don't. If you assume buying habits are a reflection of what people like, so if you assume people what people if you assume buying habits are what reflection of what people like, so that we can craft the experience better for the gamer. So that was kind of a bad sentence structure for them for the quote,
Yeah.
but uh,
Well,
um,
I think
basically it's
microtransactions are
saying
just
I
Go
don't
on,
want
you
to
can
interrupt,
go
but
on,
what I'm
finish,
saying is,
finish.
from my understanding, what Phil Spencer's basically saying is, if you don't like it, don't buy it. And they're going to be using the information they get off from these microtransactions to see if they should continue doing it further. And I would basically take it a step further. Uh, don't buy day one DLC. Just don't. And because you
Well,
can
some
buy it
people
later
can't
down the
help
road.
it. I know I have that problem with some things too, like Mass Effect 3. I mean, I just had to get From Ashes, but
But what it's doing is
uh,
you're feeding into that idea of what he
oh, I
says in
completely
the
understand.
in
I
the we're
completely
crafting a
understand
game
that.
with the analytics. We want to learn what people want to put in. So if you don't like it, don't buy it. And if enough people don't buy it, they'll get the hint.
This is very true, but that's also much easier said than done.
Exactly. So a lot of people have impulse buys and kind of things like that.
Oh
Like
yeah, definitely. I know I'm guilty of that too, but
I don't have much of a
I just
problem
think
with
it's
that.
another. I think it's just another trend because you had the day one DLC, you had like well DLC's still around. I think that's gonna stay, but I don't think
Yeah.
microtransactions to this extent are gonna stay like they are now. I think it's just gonna evolve and continue going into something else.
They're constantly looking for new ways to monetize gameplay. I mean,
Oh
not
yeah,
talking
I didn't say
future
they weren't gonna do
monetization. What I'm
that, but I
saying
just think
is
they might do it a little bit differently.
they will be doing it differently, no doubt about it. Because sooner or later, this is going to get to the point where people are going to be so fed up about it, they have to they just have to keep changing. Like day one DLC is kind of out the window. I haven't seen too much of it lately.
Yeah, the last I can remember is like Mass Effect
Yeah,
3, but I don't
that's
remember anything, at least on a high profile
yeah.
scale like that.
Um, us just talk a little bit about what games we think are guilty of gross microtransaction bullshit of the new generation. I think the best one to call upon is Forza. Great game, but
I've heard that it has problems. I personally don't know what they are because I don't own the game, but I've heard
uh,
that's pretty bad.
it's
Gran
basic.
Turismo 6 or 7 or whatever the new one is, I don't follow it,
Yeah,
but I know
basically,
that's just as
if you
bad.
want to grind to get like the best car, you can do that, and it'll take probably about like 400 hours of gameplay. But if you want to spend $60 right up or whatever the cost is, I can't exactly remember right now. You can just yeah, fine. Just buy the best car in the game, spend another $60 on it, and you get to surpass all of that. Granted, I think that's a bad idea because you're not getting the practice you need. So if you want to play competitively, and well, you got the best car, but you suck ass, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. So what is
So
it with racing games? Gran Turismo and Forza now have horrible microtransactions?
yeah, I think it's because that's just the type of gameplay that you can do that with. It wouldn't
Yeah,
work
I
too
guess.
well with like Call of Duty. People would just rebel. It wouldn't make any money
Plus, I
because
guess Call of Duty is a little bit more balanced than
yeah.
a racing game would be.
I mean, imagine popping in Call of Duty and to unlock a new weapon, you either had to grind like a motherfucker, or you could just spend, you know, $20 and get it right away. Like if they did that with the squad points, if you wanted to buy squad points, and they made it
Oh
damn
yeah,
near
that would be pretty
impossible.
bad.
If they made it damn near impossible to get squad points, which is pretty hard right now, but if they made it even harder to get squad points, and then they said, well, you could just buy some, that's
Call of
that's
Duty's name is already in the toilet. It doesn't really need that now,
yeah.
does it?
No, they don't. And you see that a lot with free to play games. I'm trying to think of a specific free to play game that's
Well,
on
I
a
understand
lot
why
of
free-to-play
shooting free to
games
play
do it.
games. Yeah, because then they make their money somehow. But
I think Valve found the perfect medium
yeah,
though when it
with their
comes to that.
Manco.
With the hats and
Yeah.
all the other stuff you can get. I mean, they perfected it. I know that Team Fortress 2 was a pay-to-play game for a while,
Hmm.
but
I bought it like 2, 3 years ago. Can't
yeah,
exactly
I
remember.
bought it when it was like $20. But I think it's pretty safe to say they probably made just as much, if not more, on
Yeah.
microtransactions than they did on selling the game.
Yeah, free to play, like we were saying earlier, is the way of the future with a lot of these companies. $60 is the model that's not going to hold up anymore because people are smartening up. They're not going to spend $60 on a shitty ass game like they used to.
Well, to be fair, also a lot of games are getting shorter now, so you're
Yeah,
not necessarily getting as much for your money.
and then they'll add day one DLC after that, so you're spending like what $70, $80, and then season pass. So there's
That's
some
like at least
yeah,
$20
and in some other
average, I'd say.
countries, games are even higher than that $60. I heard the story about like in Britain they're trying to charge them like $80 80 US just to get a $60 game. Like
Yeah,
or also it reminds me of like buying consoles in Brazil. Was it like 3,600 US American dollars? Uh,
for like a PS4
yeah, for a PS4 and
and
like
like 1,000 something for an Xbox.
yeah, because of the taxes in that country.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. So what other games do
Also,
you
I
think are
think
guilty?
Well, I was mentioning it before. I think NBA 2K14, which don't get me wrong, is a great game on the
It's the
court
footage
when
in
it
the game
works.
of the video.
Uh, it's got problems where on the court it's fine, but off the court it's got weird things. Like let's say I want to offer a contract to one of my players or a free agent or something like that, they'll ask for a certain amount of money, and for some reason the default contract offer that you make isn't that amount of money. But usually, you should be able to edit the contract, offer how much money he wants, whatever, edit the years, edit the length, all that stuff, and you're good to go. For some reason, ever since they updated the game, it's been broken to where you can't do that anymore. So now they'll reject every contract offer because it's not what they want. And there's also an option to spend money on microtransactions that allow you to get whatever currency they use in the game. And if you have the skill, you can like mind trick them into signing the contract. So if you want like a LeBron James, or if you want actually anybody over like a 70, which is ridiculous, that's mediocre in the game. If you want anything over a mediocre level player, you're going to have to spend actual money to sign them, and that's preposterous.
Yeah, I can't say too much because I don't play the game,
I'm
and I'm
starting
not
to
too much in
think, I
sports
mean,
games.
I'm not going to be like Jesse Ventura here and be a conspiracy theorist, but I don't think they're doing that, but it
It
begs the
sounds out.
question,
I
are
would
they
actually
doing it
beg
on
to say that they
purpose?
they
I
might
don't
be
know.
doing that on purpose. It could have just been a bug in the developing when they updated the game.
It probably was. That's probably what it is, but it makes you think.
Yeah, and maybe it could have been a test out to see if people would get pissy about it or not.
I actually haven't heard anything about it. Maybe I'm the only one who has this problem. I very well might be, but
Have you done any research on it?
I sure hope not. I haven't done any research on that. I've experienced it,
Mhm.
but I haven't seen anybody else if they've had that same problem. Actually, I
So,
think they have had the same problem. If I my Google search from like last week is correct.
mhm. So I guess we should wrap it up. Let's talk a little bit about what we think the greatest defenders were. Was basically Forza 5, and NBA. That I think those
For
are
me personally, it's been NBA. I mean, I'm obviously we're playing on Xbox One right now, so
yeah.
there's a lot of games with microtransactions. Halo, Spartan Assault, Rise, Forza. Like you said, I haven't played Forza, so I don't know how bad it is. But most of them you really don't need to buy them. They're just there if you have to. Like for Rise, just play multiplayer. It's
Mhm.
the same thing. Just put a few matches in, you'll get the same amount of gold you get from buying it. So it's not that big of a deal. But NBA is kind of broken, so it kind of makes you have to get it. Halo, Spartan Assault, same thing. You don't really need to. It's just there.
Mhm. Like I said, the only problem I have with microtransactions is when it's broken, or when it gives an unfair advantage to the people with deep pockets.
Yeah.
Because I'm poor as hell. I like when you have a bad pay model with multiplayer games where somebody could just pay a little bit of money and they'll have something way better than you do. It reminds me of APB Reloaded, where people could just pay, microtransactions, pay just a little bit of money, and by a little bit I mean like $20 to $60, and there's no point in playing the game because unless you have money to buy these uh, microtransaction exclusive weapons, you're just going to lose. So that was their pay model, and I fear for other developers screwing up and using said pay model.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, let's hope more people like follow Valve's example
yeah,
as opposed to the bad ones. And honestly, I can't think of what the future holds in terms of what they're going to charge. So hopefully it's not too bad.
yeah, I would hate to see um, microtransactions change to even worse situations.
Yeah, and the sad thing is we can't imagine what it is, so it's going to be quite a shock.
Yeah, when it does come out, could be something to do with DRM.
Don't even mention that.
Yeah. Well, I guess our thoughts have pretty much been wrapped up. If you like this video,
I think we're pretty much equivalent with what everybody thinks about
yeah,
microtransactions.
it's bullshit. Let's just put it that way. Fuck microtransactions and fuck day one DLC. If you like this video, please rate and subscribe. Share this video if you enjoyed it, even if you didn't, and you maybe give it to somebody you think might enjoy it. Love us.
I got nothing.
You got nothing? All right. Let's wrap this shit up. Have a nice day.
Have a great day.